Graham. Okay, I have to agree to that. Okay, I'm going to open the evening with a country song from Townes Van Zandt, a Texan songwriter. And you probably heard this before. Living on the road, my friend, ain't gonna keep you free and clean. Now you wear your skin like iron, your breath is hard as kerosene. You weren't your mama's only son, but her favorite one, it seems. She began to cry when you said goodbye and sank into your dream. Pancho was a bandit, boys, his horse as fast as polished steel. He wore his gun outside his pants for all the honest world to feel. Pancho met his match, you know, on the border down in Mexico. Nobody heard his dying words, but that's the way it goes. And all the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him hang around out of kindness, I suppose. Lefty, he can't sing the blues all night long like he used to. The dusted Pancho bit down south, it ended up in Lefty's mouth. The day they laid poor Pancho low, Lefty split for Ohio, where he got the bread to go. Well, there ain't nobody know. But all the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him slip away out of kindness, I suppose. Poets tell how Pancho fell and Lefty's living in a cheap hotel. The border's quiet, Cleveland's cold, and so the story ends, we're told. Pancho needs your prayers, it's true, but save a few for Lefty too. He only did what he had to do, and now he's growing old. But all the federales say could have had him any day. We only let him go so long out of kindness, I suppose. A few gray federales say could have had him any day. Only let him grow so long out of kindness, I suppose. Pancho and Lefty, Townes Van Zandt.
Thank you, Charles. Good to hear that, and a good start to the evening. So it's over to Pelagie now for no doubt something very different. And Graham Baldwin, could you follow Pelagie, please?
Okay, well, I thought we'd start with a prayer. Hello, God. This is the Meek. You know how you said we'd inherit the earth? Well, is it all right to have it this week? If that's all right with you, if it's something you can allow, we have been waiting a while. Is it all right to have it now? I don't mean to be pushy. We met and had a chat, and one of the others suggested it. But if there's a problem with that. But, you know, the offer was there. and someone else has had it a long time. So if we could just have our share. Hello, God. It's the Meek. We spoke before. Remember, we inherited the earth. Well, we've not got it anymore. I'm afraid we sort of let it go. This man said he wanted it, and we didn't like to say no. I suppose we should have, but we've never had the knack. So the others have asked me to ask you, can we please have it back? We only had it 15 minutes. This was our big day. I knew we wouldn't assert ourselves. I didn't like to say. Perhaps we could inherit something smaller, like a bicycle. That might be nice. Just one between all of us would do. I hope you don't mind the advice. That's what you should have said. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit a bicycle. Is it all right to have it next week? Hello, God. This you're not going to like. I'm sorry to bother you again, but somebody's taken our bike. We're not cut out for this, are we? The writing's on the wall. Blessed are the meek, for they don't really want anything at all. Perhaps that's the best thing. We didn't want to cause all this worry. In future, we'll just keep quiet. One last thing, God. Sorry. That's Blessed are the meek, Les Barker. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thanks, Pelagie. Loads of fun. You can't beat Les Barker. And nicely recited. Okay, next we have Graham Baldwin and then Jacob Møller-Jensen.
Well, hello everybody. I'm going to do a traditional English folk song. It's in Roud and it's the Child Ballad 276, and it dates back to 1719, and it uses a Playford tune from 1651. Apparently it was very popular in Elizabethan times. Now a little bit of background. My eldest granddaughter's just celebrated her 16th birthday, so this song has special meaning for me because it's all about a 16-year-old girl. Actually, the tale really is about a randy monk who will go to any length to get his holy end away. And he's well and truly, but he becomes well and truly unglued by the shrewdness of his 16-year-old prospective victim. So here we go. It's called The Friar in the Well. I'm sure you probably know this one. Quite well known by a number of people. A friar, as I've been told, fancied a girl 16 years old, come begging to her in the middle of the night. Would he sleep with her till the broad daylight? To me, oh fella, diddle R-O-D. Oh no, says she, for you know very well, if I do that I'll go straight to hell. No, he says, there is no doubt, oh if you were in hell I would whistle you out. To me, oh fella, diddle R-O-D. Says the girl, you can do this thing. You a purse of money must bring. So he went a running, the money to fetch. She thought on a steam the friar to catch. To me, a fella, diddle R-O-D. So she got a sheet, yes you know very well. She hung it up in front of the well. He comes back and she let him in. And it's oh dear love, now let's begin. To me, old fella, little arrow dear. Cries the girl, so crafty and cunning. Think I hear my father a-coming. So behind the sheep the flyer did trip. Into the well he went, ah, so but tip to me, eh, fella, little arrow dear. And the friar called out, what a pitiful sound. Help, sweetheart, or I shall drown. She said you could whistle me out of hell. Well, whistle your own self out of the well to me, eh, fella, little arrow dear. Him out and she bid him begone, but he wanted his money back again. No, she says, there is one matter. You must pay me for your foul. My water to me, little arrow dear. Says the friar, well, I never was treated so, and I'll never come back here no more. Off he went on down the street, dragging his bum like a new dipshit to me, fella, little arrow dear. The friar in the well.
Marvellous.
And it serves him right. Yeah, good stuff. Thank you, Graham. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Okay, so Jacob, I hope I didn't mess your name up. I'm not going to attempt it again. It's over to you. Yeah, looking forward to hearing you sing, because apparently I missed you last week, so I'm glad you've come back. And after Jacob, could we hear from David Kidman, please?
Thank you. Today it's going to be a bit of a different tune than what I sang last time. I'm going to be singing a song from, as I understand, 1990, a Danish song that was written for a play that has then later been picked up by the Danish LARP community. It is a song about death. It is a song that tells about how death will come to all of us, but as its course goes, roughly translated with a bit of the rhyming still there, it would go something like, so here, old bony death, stay out on the hill, many have you taken, but we are here still. I've decided to sing this one tonight because yesterday I was told that one of my colleagues, which was basically my age, died. So I felt like it was proper to sing a song that is about this subject, but also about how we're all still alive. So, når skygge ikke falder fra den sorte fugl, så kryber vi mennesker. Så fryser vi mennesker og kryber i skjul. Den blodrøde blomst, der lander i mit skød, den kalder på liv midt i stanken af død. Så hør du gamle knokkelmanden, hold dig vel i hu. Mange har du taget, men vi er her endnu. Ja, hør du gamle knokkelmand, hold dig vel i hu. Mange har du taget, men vi er her endnu. Dit magre skelet kaster skygger overalt. Du siger, du er konge, men ligner kun en pjalt. Skønt så vil du komme til alt, som der er liv. Selv os, der her er samlet, skal falde for din kniv. Så hør du, gamle knokkelmand, hold dig vel i hu. Mange har du taget, men vi er her endnu. Ja, hør du, gamle knokkelmand, hold dig vel i hu. Mange har du taget, men vi er her endnu. Igennem alle tider går dag og nat i ring. Hvor hver barn vokser op, står en knokkelmand på spring. Slægter skal komme, og slægter skal forgå. Ja, alting forandres, kun livet vil bestå. Så hør du, gamle knokkelmand, hold dig vel i hu. Mange har du taget, men vi er her endnu. Ja, hør du, gamle knokkelmand, hold dig vel i hu. Mange har du taget, men vi er her endnu. Så hør du, gamle knokkelmand.
Thank you.
Lovely stuff, Jacob. Thank you. And possibly our first Danish song. I think probably. I'm not sure, but thank you. And sorry to hear about your colleague. These are hard times. Okay, David Kidman, it's over to you now, and then let's have Hazel Richings.
Right. This has a death connection as well, but it's a commemoration of death in a way. A couple of weeks ago, we had a fantastic evening here with the tribute to Peter Bellamy, who died in September of 1991. And just a few weeks earlier, on the 10th of August of that year, Yorkshire singer-songwriter Keith Marsden died at a very early age, unfortunately, and he was on the list of potential songwriter tribute nights, but it's a little soon after the Bellamy one to have another one tonight, so I'm going to pay my own personal tribute to Keith. He wrote only 27 songs, and I sing quite a few of them. I have had a request to sing Normandy Orchards, but I actually sang that last November, so I'm going to sing another one that's often requested, called City Lament. The city, just a quick word of explanation, was an area of Morley in West Yorkshire, which had originally housed the colliers from Morley Main Colliery. Back-to-back houses, it developed into quite a slum, so of course it was pulled down in the 60s, and some of the basically some of the people who lived in the slums were rehoused in the flats, which were, need I say more, new flats, 3 stories high and cheaper than high rise because they didn't need to install a lift. So there you go. And this is a song which is basically from the point of view of one of the residents of the city slums that didn't agree with being rehoused, and you can understand why. I was born a city lad, so I know the place was bad, and the only thing to call it was a slum. But despite the squalor there, some people didn't care, and didn't want the bulldozers to come. Oh, and how they cried that day when we had to move away and pack our homes upon our little carts. Then the council knocked it flat, and we all thanked God for that. And none of us have died of broken hearts. Aye, the men from the town hall came and swung their big lead ball, and one by one the streets began to fall. Now in new electric flats we miss the damp and rats, and we can't grow mushrooms on the bedroom wall. Well, the city streets were mean, like the houses in between. The bricks were every shade of dirty black. Electric lights were few, and baths we never knew, and the lavs were round the corner at the back. Our food was frying panned, and our clothes were second hand, and shoes were something other people wore. And when Dad had drunk his dole and we couldn't pay for coal, we'd go and pinch some other bugger's door. Aye, the men from the town hall came and swung their big lead ball, and one by one the streets began to fall. Now in new electric flats we miss the damp and rats, and we can't grow mushrooms on the bedroom wall. Well, now normally you'd choke on the ashes and the smoke. We measured daily sootfall by the ton, but when the air went sweet and you could nearly see your feet, the mayor he fired a celebration gun. And in an early morn of spring you could hear the sparrows sing. By noon the mills around had done their worst, so by tea time over all there would hang a sooty pall, while the sparrows sat there coughing fit to burst. Aye, the men from the town hall came and swung their big lead ball, and one by one the streets began to fall. Now in new electric flats we miss the damp and rats, and we can't grow mushrooms on the bedroom wall. Then the rain would catch the grime and turn it into slime and spread it on the houses down below. So in April we had showers that poisoned all the flowers, and in winter we made black men out of snow. Oh, aye, the place was rough, so all us lads were tough, and the coppers came in threes when they came by, and it hardly made 'em frown when we burnt the fish oil down, with the sergeant in the middle for a guy. Aye, the men from the town hall came and swung their big lead ball, and one by one the streets began to fall. Now in new electric flats we miss the damp and rats, and we can't grow mushrooms on the bedroom wall. And though now the city's gone, still its spirits linger on. And if one winter's night you're passing by, you might catch the padding feet of some whippet long deceased, or hear a ghostly rag and bone man's cry. There's a gang of phantom kids still out pinching dustbin lids, but if you think you hear the sound of strife, don't stop whate'er you do, for it's not to do with you. It's just some ghostly drunkard beating up his wife. Aye, the men from the town hall came and swung their big lead ball, and one by one the streets began to fall. Now in new electric flats we miss the damp and rats, and we can't grow mushrooms on the bedroom wall. No, we can't grow mushrooms on the bedroom wall. Study Lament. Rest in peace, Keith Marsden.
Yeah. Nice.
Thanks, David. Great tribute to Keith Marsden there. Yeah, thank you. Okay, over now to Hazel, and then could we have Martin Nail, please?
Thank you. I'm going to follow that with a Keith Marsden song because I sang this one earlier today at a tribute with Graham Pert and Val Marsden in residence. Graham joined in. This is Hessle Road, and it mentions the Bransholme Towers, which were the new electric flats. Going back to walk the old beat down on Hessle Road. Going back to see the old street down on Hessle Road. Street once loud with braiders' gossip, only echoes now with pain. Soon they'll come with cranes and hammers, knocking down memory lane. Andrew's dock once full of trawlers down on Hessle Road. Cutters, snibbies, old side haulers down on Hessle Road. Quayside rang with clogs and hobnails, fish lads' barrows running by. Now there's only desolation left to greet an old man's eye. On the docks they'd never need you down on Hessle Road, till they'd Cyprus ore to bleed you down on Hessle Road. Got the egg through humping timber, then on the beach and out of luck. Foul-mouthed foreman ruled with curses, bought his beer or lost your book. Sunk off Iceland once and stranded down on Hessle Road. How we pleasured when we landed back on Hessle Road. Cruising round the pubs with lasses, 3 days off with cash to spend. Every day another payday, time ashore too soon to end. Moved out when Sam Allen came, lad, far from Hessle Road. Bransholme Towers ain't the same, lad, far from Hessle Road. Still the old road, like a magnet, draws us back from near and far. Do the shopping Saturday morning, have a pint in Rayner's bar. Going back to walk the old beat down on Hessle Road. Going back to see the old street down on Hessle Road. Street once loud with braiders' gossip, only echoes now with pain. Soon they'll come with cranes and hammers, knocking down memory lane. Thank you.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Another fine tribute there, Hazel. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, Martin next, followed by Pete and Maggie.
Excuse me. Sorry, I've got a little thing in my throat. Come, Come, write me down, ye powers above, the man that first created love. For I've a diamond in my eye, wherein all my joys and comforts lie. Wherein all my joys and comforts lie. I'll give you gold, I'll give you pearls, if you can fancy me, dear girl, rich costly robes that you shall wear, if you can fancy me, my dear. If you can fancy me, my dear. Oh, damn. I know this song so well.
Tis not your gold.
It is not your gold shall me entice to live of pleasures, to be a wife. For I don't mean or intend at all to be at any young man's call. To be at any young man's call. Then go your way, you scornful dame, since you've proved false, I'll prove the same. For I don't care, but I shall find some other fair maid to my mind. Some other fair maid to my mind. Oh, stay, young man, don't be in haste. You seem afraid your time you'll waste. Let reason rule your roving mind, and unto you I will prove kind. And unto you I will prove kind. So to church they went the very next day, and were married by asking, as I've heard say. And now that girl, she is his wife, she will prove his comfort day and night. She will prove his comfort day and night. So now their troubles and sorrows are past, their joy and comfort is come at last. That girl that always did say nay, she will prove his comfort night and day. She will prove his comfort night and day.
Lovely. One of my favourites. Great.
Thanks, Martin. Always a good one. Thank you. Okay, next we have Pete and Maggie, and then let's have Clive Woolf.
Yeah. We've got a tune, and in fact, it's a Danish tune. It's called Randa's Hopsa.
lively. That was
nice
lively.
Cheerful stuff.
Sorry,
Cheerful
you were
stuff,
muted.
and continuing our Danish theme for the evening, I think. I doubt many of us will be able to contribute to much more Danishness, but let's see. Anyway, thanks for that. Over to Clive, and I will sing myself after Clive. Are you shaking your head, Clive?
Yes, I know I'm nodding my head. I will sing, but this
Yes.
is not a Danish tune.
Oh.
This is an English song, but it's also known very well in America. But suddenly sat weeping down by the seaside. Poor Sally sat weeping down by the seaside. What ails you, my Juden? Well, what ails you, my Juden? Well, what ails you, my Juden? Well, and causes you to cry. Why? Because I'm uneasy and Trumbull didn't mind. Because I'm uneasy and Trumbull didn't mind. There's no joy, no comfort. There's no joy, no comfort. There's no joy, no comfort in this world can I find. Once I had a sweetheart, but now I have none. Once I had a sweetheart, but now I have none. He's gone and he's leaving me. He's gone, he's deceiving me. He's gone and he's leaving me in sodden road to moan. Last night in sweet slumber, I dreamed I didn't see. Last night in sweet slumber, I dreamed it I did see. My own precious Juden well, my own precious Juden well, my own precious Juden well, stood standing by me. But when I awoke, and I found it not so, but when I awoke, and I found it not so, my eyes like some fountains, my eyes like some fountains, my eyes like some fountains, with water did it flow. And I'll venture through England, through France and through Spain. I'll adventure through England, through France and through Spain. On shipboard I'll enter, my sweet life I'll venture, and never return to old England again. And thank you.
Thanks, Clive. Despite the fact that wasn't in Danish, that did very nicely. So thank you. I will sing next, followed by Mick Elfred. And I can't sing in Danish either, but I will continue another theme of the evening, which is new housing schemes. David Kidman sang about one, and this is Glasgow's reply, I guess. For anyone who doesn't know what a piece is, in this context, it's basically a sandwich. And in the old tenement slums, the mums, the kids used to play in the streets all day, and the mums at lunchtime would slap a couple of bits of bread around a filling and throw it out the window, and the kids would stand in the street and catch it, so they didn't come in. So that's what they are harking back to. Pardon me. Oh, you can't fling a Julie piece at 20-story flat. 700 hungry wains will testify to that, be it bar, cheese or chilly, if the breed be plain or pan, the odds against it reaching earth are 99 to 1. I'm a skyscraper Wayne and I live in the 19th floor, but I'm no going out to play any more, 'cause since I moved to Castle Milk I'm wasting fair away, 'cause I'm getting one less meal every day. Oh, you can't fling pieces out a 20-story flat. 700 hungry wains will testify to that, be it butter, cheese or chilly, if the breed be plain or pan, the odds against it reaching earth are 99 to 1. On the first day my ma made a piece in Hovis Brun, she flung it out the window, it went up instead of down. Now every 22nd hours it comes back into sight, 'cause it went into orbit and became a satellite. Oh, you can't fling pieces out a 20-story flat. 700 hungry wains will testify to that, be it bar, cheese or chilly, if the breed be plain or pan, the odds against it reaching earth are 99 to 1. On the second day my ma thought she'd take another go, the Salvation Army band was playing down below. Onward Christian soldiers was the piece they should have played, but the impa man was playing on a piece in marmalade. Oh, you can't fling pieces out a 20-story flat. 700 hungry wains will testify to that, be it bar, cheese or chilly, if the breed be plain or pan, the odds against it reaching earth are 99 to 1. On the third day my ma thought she'd try again, she flung it and it hit the window of a fast low-flying plane. The pilot scraped it off his goggles, shouting through the intercom, the Clydeside Reds are bombing us with peace and Julie bombs. Oh, you can't fling pieces out a 20-story flat. 700 hungry wains will testify to that, be it bar, cheese or chilly, if the breed be plain or pan, the odds against it reaching earth are 99 to 1.
Bravo!
Bravo, yeah.
Loved it. Lovely. Very good.
Excellent.
Thanks everyone. An Adam McNaughton song. Glasgow's very great songwriter. Okay, Mick Alfred is next, and then let's have Kathy Dent.
Okay, my screen just froze, so I got back on, so I hope it stays that way. Right, I'll do you, it's a Sydney Carter song. And it's called John Ball. You probably know it. John Ball was a radical priest at the time of the Peasants' Revolt, and he preached to the peasants on Blackheath. And eventually, when the whole thing was suppressed, he met a very grisly end at St Albans in the presence of King Richard II. But Sydney Carter took words from his preaching and put them to music. To the more, long live the day that is dawning. crow like a cock, I'll carol like a lark in the light that's coming in the morning. Eve is the lady, Adam is the Lord. When we live in the love of one another, Eve is the lady, Adam is the Lord. In the light that's coming in the morning, sing John Ball and tell it to them all. Long live the day that is dawning. I'll crow like a cock, I'll carol like a lark, the light that's coming in the morning. All shall be ruled by fellowship, I say, when we live in the love of one another. All shall live in fellowship, I say, in the light that's coming in the morning. Sing John Ball and tell it to them all. Long live the day that is dawning. I'll crow like a cock, I'll carol like a lark, in the light that's coming in the morning. Weave and spin for the fellowship, I say, when we live in the love of one another. Weave and spin for the fellowship, I say, in the light that's coming in the morning. Sing John Ball and tell it to them all. Long live the light that is dawning. I'll crow like a cock, I'll carol like a lark, the light that's coming in the morning.
Good one for harmonies, Mick, and yeah, enjoyed the guitar and that as well. Okay, over now to Kathy and Paul Steele. You will be on after Kathy.
Okie dokie. It's not far from the anniversary of Peterloo, so I'm on my cotton mill town songs. So the one I got tonight was written by this bloke, Paul Graney, who worked in cotton mills from the age of 12, but his story goes back to the early days when even younger children were working in the mills. I'll tell you a story of cotton, of children 8, 9 and 10, who worked in the mills around Oldham. and never grew up to be men. From orphanage and workhouse they brought them, these kids who had done no one ill, or they should have been gathering of flowers, not sweating their lives out in mill. Now cotton was very important, to the glory of England was said, but the poor little devils who made it would have been a sight better off dead. 10 hours a day they were working, famished on watery gruel, but they were only working class children, so nobody thought it was cruel. In dark and filthy conditions, these orphans worked long and hard, and in a few years their thin bodies were buried in the factory yard. But the guns of reform had been loaded with the best out of commons to date, and from 80 the hours dropped to 60 for all the poor kids under 8. But the mill owners, they sent a petition for this terrible blow to their purse, and dipped in their pockets with treason, far more bitter than a working man's curse. Your memorialists humbly beseech you, consider these poor owners' claims, for if we can't exploit these poor children, how else can we profit and gain? We'll sell up our big mansions and we'll close down the cotton mills if we have to obey and take notice of this stern and crippling bill. Now I've told you the story of cotton, of graves down by the lodge fence. How much is a child's life worth in your pounds and your shillings and pence? Story of cotton.
Lovely.
Good one there.
Well done, Kathy. Sad one.
Very nicely done, Kathy. Thank you. Okay, Paul Steele, you have to follow that. And after Paul, it will be time for Riggy.
Of you is forever to remember me as loving you. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. Remember the joy of two hearts that beat as one, and the love that still lives on. All I ask of you is forever to remember. Though the road we walk is wintry and grey, still will have those sunlit distant days. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. And from time to time we'll be talking, you and I. Just call my name and I'll be near. All I ask of you is forever to remember. Laughter, joy, and all you are, and all the things you do. When you time, you'll find them here for you. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. One short life, a candlelight of hopes and fears, briefly flames, then fades and disappears. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. All I ask of you is forever to remember.
Well, I think probably quite a lot of us will remember you singing that song at least. So thanks, Paul.
Lovely.
Okay, Riggy, it's you next, and then Kate Portal.
There's never enough love songs. So that was really great, Paul. Thank you for singing that. Here's one by a Scottish composer you might know named Robert Burns. The fellow Dan Milner, who comes here frequently, I learned this from him in the mid-70s, and it helped me gain my wife 10 years later. Oh, will you go with me, sweet to be Dunbar? Oh, will you go with me, sweet to be Dunbar? Will you ride on a horse or be drawn in a cart, or walk by my side, sweet to be Dunbar? Will you be known as a poor beggar's lady, sleep in the heather, wrapped up in my plaidy, the sky for your roof, your candle a star, my love for your fire, sweet to be Dunbar? I offer you nothing in houses or land. What man can determine the price for your land? But give your consent, you'll be richer by far, and say that you'll have me, sweet to be Dunbar. I care not your daddy, his lands or his money, care not your kin so high and so lordly, but say you'll go with me, swear better or worse, and come in my coalty, sweet to be Dunbar. Oh, you go with me straight to be Dunbar? Oh, will you go with me straight to be Dunbar? Will you ride on a horse or be drawn in a car? Or walk by my side straight to be Dunbar? Sorry, but almost perfect.
Nice one, Riggy.
Thanks, Reggie. Well, 2 love songs in a row. Can we beat that? I don't know. Kate Porto, I can't even remember if I called you, but you're next.
You did.
And
Yes, you did.
okay.
You did.
And after Kate, it will be time for John White.
Can you hear me?
Certainly can.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. This is a song I sing a lot. It's a verse that Martin Carthy found in a collection of songs that were thought to be too indecent to be published at the beginning of the 19th century. And he set it to a tune written by a blind Scottish fiddler called Blind Willie Rankin. And it's and the other thing I just want to say is I'm very aware that these wonderful evenings on Zoom are finite. I know I will be up at some point on the tube up to Camden, but we're going to be away for a couple of weeks, and then after that it'll be the last time. So anyway, with that in mind, I shall sing The Devil and the Farmer's Feathery Wife. Oh, there was no devil lived under the hill, and a poor old fella, they say, he was plagued with hunger and scolding wife, the worst of his fortune that day. And as he cut wood in the forest one day, between dark doom and despair, the devil himself popped out of a bush and stood before him there. Oh, what's the matter, the devil, he cried, you look so discontent. Haven't you got enough money to buy your food or to pay your landlord's rent? Oh, what would you give me, the devil, he cried, if I could end the debate and give you money and gear enough so you'll never more want for meat? I've nothing to give you, the farmer, he cried, I've nothing right here to me hand. But if you do as you say for me, I'll be at your command. Oh, I'll make you a bargain, the devil cried, a bargain you just couldn't miss. You're to bring me a beast at 7 years end, and I'm to say what it is. And if the beast I name aright, to mark what I do tell, you'll have to toddle along with me to view the ovens of hell. Well, the old man trusted, prospered well, and it was all gained and spent. Then he's come to the end of 7 long years, and sorely he did lament. Oh, what's the matter, his wife, she cried, you look so discontent. Have you got some silly young girl with child, making you sore lament? No, I made a bargain with the devil, he cried, a bargain I just couldn't miss. I'm to bring him a beast at 7 years end, and who's to say what it is? And if that beast he names aright, oh, mark what I do tell, I'll have to toddle along with him to view the ovens of hell. Oh, don't you worry, his wife, she cried, your cattle you keep in your feed. For the wit of a woman, it comes in handy at times in an hour of need. Oh, fetch me the droppings of all our chickens and spread them out over the floor. And naked I will strip myself and roll in them over and all. And fetch me the basket of feathers, she said, of the geese we had for our tea. And I will roll all over in them till never an inch be free. So she's rolled in droppings, she's rolled in feathers from her head down to her navel. By Christ, he says, what an awful sight, you look far worse than the devil. And when the devil himself came in, he started to scream and hiss. By Christ, he said, what an awful sight, and I'm damned if I know what it is. He started to shake, he started to quake, saying, have you got more of these at home? Oh, yes, said the farm, I've got 7 more, they're in my forest who roam. And if you've got some more of these beasts that's in your forest to dwell, I'll stick to my bargain. I'm off home, 'cause she's worse than the demons of hell.
Fabulous.
Told like a storyteller. Brilliant.
That's great.
I always enjoy hearing you do that one, Kate. Thank you. And yeah, I guess we'll miss you for a couple of weeks, but see you back for the last Sharps and Isolations. So time now for John White, and Dave Harbord, you will be on after John. Just wait a second while we unmute you, John.
Right, this is one of the many songs written for the music hall by a performer called Albert Chevalier, who wasn't French at all, but a real Londoner through and through. And his best known song is Knocked Him in the Old Kent Road. This song of his is different from Old Kent Road. It's a much quieter little love song. The writer called it a Cockney carol. Here we go. First line, right. I've got a little donor, I'm about to own her. She's going to marry me. First she said she couldn't, then she said she wouldn't, then she whispered, well, I'll see. Says I be Mrs. Hawkins, Mrs. Henry Hawkins, all across the seas I'll roam. So help me, Bob, I'm crazy. Liza, you're the daisy. Won't you share my humble home? Won't you? Oh, Liza, sweet Liza. If you die as an old maid, you'll have only yourself to blame. Do you hear, Liza? Dear Liza, how'd you fancy Hawkins for your other name? I shan't forget our meeting. Gone was her greeting. What you think that you're about? Her pretty head she froze up, then she turns her nose up, saying, let me go, I'll shout. I like your style, says Liza. Thought that I'd surprise her. Cops around the waist like this. Says she, I must be dreaming. Stop it, I'll start screaming. If you do, says I'll kiss. Now then, oh, Liza, sweet Liza, if you die as an old maid, you'll have only yourself to blame. Do you hear, Liza, dear Liza, how'd you fancy Hawkins for your other name? She wears an artful bonnet, feathers stuck upon it, covering her hair all curled. She's just about the sweetest, prettiest and neatest donor in the wide, wide world. And she'll be Mrs. Hawkins, Mrs. Henry Hawkins, I've got her for the name the day. Said her it last Monday, to the church next Sunday. Off we'll go our donkey shay. Now then, oh, Liza, sweet Liza, if you die as an old maid, you'll have only yourself to blame. Do you hear, Liza, dear Liza, Mrs. Henry Hawkins is a first-class name. Mrs. Henry Hawkins.
Lovely, John. Well done, mate.
Wonderful.
Thank you, John.
Lovely little song, isn't it?
Thank you, John. No apparently means yes in this context. Who knew? Okay, so Dave Harbord is our next singer, and Dave will be followed by Tom Reed.
Right, the East Anglia fisherman Sam Larner used to sing the Princess Royal to the same tune as Flash company, so I thought I'd have a shot at it myself tonight. On the 14th of February, we set sail from the land on the boat Princess Royal, bound for Newfoundland. We had 40 brave seamen in our ship's company, and boldly from the eastward to the westward sailed we. Now we had not been a sailing scarce days 2 or 3, when the man on our masthead strange colours did see. She came bearing down on us for to see what we were, and under her mizzen boys black colours she wore. Oh Lord, cries our captain, what shall we do now? Here comes a bold pirate to rob us, I know. Oh no, cried the first mate, that never shall be so. We'll pull out our reef, boys, and away from him we'll go. Now this bold pirate, she's over alongside, with a loud-speaking trumpet, whence came you, he's cried. Our captain being up, me boys, he answered him so. We are come from fair London, and are bound for Kylo. Then heave up your courses, and bring your ship to, for I have a long letter for to send on by you. Oh, I'll heave up me courses, and I'll bring my ship to, but it'll be in some harbour, not alongside of you. Now he's chased us to the windward all that livelong day, and he's chased us to the westward, but couldn't make no way. He's fired shots after us, but none did prevail, and the bold Princess Royal soon showed him her tail. Oh Lord, cries the captain, now the pirate is gone. Go you down to your grog, me boys, go down every one. Go you down to your grog, me boys, and be of good cheer, while the bold Princess has serum, brave boys never fear. Sam Lawler.
Thanks, Dave. A good maritime tale. Well told. Okay, it's over now to Tom Reed and then Pal Carter, please.
Thank you, Amanda.
Far away across the ocean, underneath an Indian star, is a dark and lonely maiden on the coast of Malabar, in the harbor where we anchored, I can see her shy and sweet, with a bunch of wine red roses and the white feet. Oh, fare thee well, my little dark-eyed queen. Fare thee well, my little star. In my heart you'll live forever on the coast of Malabar. Come to me, I can hear her calling across the ocean wild and far. Come to me again and love me on the coast of Malabar. Now my thoughts keep ever turning to that far off distant shore, and the dark-eyed girl who loves me, for I'll see her nevermore. Oh, fare thee well, my little dark-eyed queen. Fare thee well, my little star. In my heart you'll live forever on the coast of Malabar, on the coast of Malabar.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Great, Tom.
Lovely stuff, Tom. More love songs, incredible. Okay, Pal Carter next, and then could we have Paddy Hannon to finish off the first half? Pal, then Paddy.
Okay. I always think of Mac when I sing this, although he had completely different lyrics. But Mac. Come all you loyal heroes, wherever you may be, and don't hire to any master till you know what your work will be. For you must rise up early from the clear daylight till dawn, or else you won't be able to plough the rocks of Bourne. My shoes, they are well worn out, my socks are getting thin, my heart is always trembling for fear they might let in. My heart is always trembling from the clear daylight afraid I won't be able to plough the rocks of Bonn. Rise up, gallant Sweeney, and get your horses hay, and give them a good feed of oats before they start the day. Don't feed them on soft turnip sprigs, let them graze on yon green lawn. It's then you might be able to plough the rocks of Bonn. My curse upon you, Sweeney, you have me nearly robbed. You're sitting by the fireside with your dudgeon in your gob. You're sitting by the fireside from the clear daylight till dawn. I'm afraid you won't be able to plough the rocks of Bonn. Well, I wish the sergeant major would write to me in time and put me in some regiment all in my youth and prime. I'd fight for Ireland's glory from the clear daylight till dawn, and I never would return again to plough the rocks of Bonn.
Great song, great, well sing.
Thanks, pal. That was nothing like Mac singing, I have to say. Yeah, wonderful stuff. Okay, so Paddy Hannon will now finish off the first half for us, and then we'll have a bit of a break and do it all again in the second half. So Paddy, over to you.
Thank you. Well, this song actually nicely feeds into a couple of the themes of the evening, the poor housing and songs from Denmark. The song itself is a version of a thing known as the Barnsley Anthem, and this is about poor housing, among other things, and Barnsley is a lot closer to Denmark than I am. So, interestingly, it uses as a melody the German folk song Ach du lieber Augustin, which you'll all be familiar with. And we, for the benefit of our overseas colleagues and anyone from the south of England, we provide a translation at the end. Well, we read down it cellar oil wet mucks lots on windows, we've burnt all our coil up and we read down to cinders. If bum bailiff comes he won't know where to find us, 'cause we read down it cellar oil wet mucks lots on windows. Can't put the muck in our dustbin, our dustbin, our dustbin. Can't put the muck in our dustbin's full, 'cause we're reet down in cellar oil, wet muck slots on twinders. We've burnt all our coil up and we reet down to cinders. If bum bailiff comes he won't know where to find us, 'cause we reet down in the cellar oil where the muck slots on the windows. Which translates as, well, we're way down in the basement where the dirt piles on the casement. We've burnt all our anthracite, now we're burning coke. If the bailiff should come, they won't be able to locate us, 'cause we're way down in the basement where the dirt piles on the casement. Can't put the muck in our dustbin, our dustbin, our dustbin. Can't put the muck in our dustbin's full.
Wonderful.
Oh, priceless.
Great stuff, Paddy. Thank you for the translation as well. That was necessary in my case, although others may have a better linguistic skills. Okay, I'm just going to pause the recording. John, you're not, you're on, you need to unmute, John. Oh, hang on.
There we are. I'm unmuted. This is yet another song about death, believe it or not, but this one is feminine. Last night I dreamt a dream so deep. My love and I, we lay together. For I dreamt in this dream of mine, it seemed that in my arms I held her. When I awoke, I lay alone. My love was gone, the dream was over. Then in came a lady, white as white, whiter far than snow in winter. How did you come in, my love? How, my life, how came you in my chamber? All the doors are bolted fast, the windows barred, there is no entry. Lover, I am not your love, I am death, and God has sent me. Oh, death so strict and so hard-hearted, let me live but one day longer. One day more you cannot have. In 1 hour your life is over. He put on his clothes so fast, put his shoes on even faster. Off along the street he goes, knocks at the door of his true lover. Open the door and let me in. My life, let me in, my dearest dear. How can I let you in, my love? My parents, they may see or hear. My father has not gone to court. He's not asleep, nor is my mother. My life, if you don't let me in, you'll not see me again, no, never. Death is hard upon my heels, with you there might be life, my treasure. Stand beneath my windowsill, beneath the room where I embroider. I'll throw you down a silken rope, so you can climb up to my chamber. The silken rope, it frays, it breaks. Here comes death, says to the lover, let us go now, it is time. It is time, the hour is over. the lover's dream.
Amazing stuff, John. That gets the second half off to a good start. David Diamond is our next singer, and Gwyneth Try, could you follow David, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Yeah. Well, we had a good start, but I must say of this song that I once asked it as a request of Cyril Tawney, one of the very few times I actually saw him in person, and he looked at me in the way he had and said, "You must be a masochist." But I was reminded of it because I woke up on Monday morning complaining about not sleeping well. Too soon to be out of me bed, too soon to be back at this bus queue caper, fumbling for change for a morning paper on a Monday morning. Wrong end of the week for a smile, wrong end of the day for being civil. It's many a saint would be a devil on a Monday morning. Where is the weekend now? Where is the whiskey and beer I tasted? Gone the same way as the pay I wasted on a Monday morning. If only the birds would boo, if only the sun was a party giver, if I could just give someone else my liver on a Monday morning. My lover, she lies asleep. My lover is warm and her heart is mellow. I'd trade you the world just to share her pillow on a Monday morning. Too soon to be out of me bed, too soon to be back at this bus queue caper, fumbling for change for a morning paper on a Monday morning.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks, David. Yeah, I don't do Monday mornings anymore. I don't work on Mondays, so it's really good. I have Tuesday mornings instead. They're not so bad. Anyway, Gwyneth Try is next, and after Gwyneth, could we hear from Bob Bosson, please?
Right, I'm going to do Botany Bay, which has many verses that I'm not going to do. I'm just going to. I've got it from a child-friendly version, so. Farewell to old England forever. Farewell to my old pals as well. Farewell to the well-known Old Bailey, where I once used to look such a swell. singing to rely at a tea, singing to rely singing to rely at a tea, for we're bound for the Botany Bay. There's the captain as is our commander, there's the boatswain and all the ship's crew, there's the first and the second class passengers, knows what people convicts go through, singing to rely at a tea, singing to rely singing to rely at a tea, for we're bound for the Botany Bay. Dain't leaving old England are we cares about, yen cause we misspells what we knows, but because all we light-fingered gentry ups around with the log on our toes, singing to rely at a tea, singing to rely singing to rely at a tea, for we're bound for the Botany Bay. Oh, had I the wings of a turtle dove, I'd soar on my pinions so high, slip bang to the arms of my Polly love, and in her sweet presence I'd die, singing to rely at a tea, singing to rely singing to rely at a tea, for we're bound for the Botany Bay. Now all my young dukies and duchesses, take warning from what I've to say. Mind all is your own that you duchesses, or you'll find us in Botany Bay, singing to rely at a tea, singing to rely singing to rely at a tea, for we're bound for the Botany Bay. Thank you.
Thank you, Gwyneth, yeah, another good one for joining in the chorus. So thank you. Okay, Bob Bosson is finished the washing up, I think, and ready to sing, which is great. And after Bob, let's hear from Lynn Phipps.
Well, it's the middle of the well, it's lunchtime here, so there you go. Have we licked the echo? Is there no echo? We're good? Okay. This song is by Daniel Kaner, who lives in London. Perhaps the odd one of you know his work. He's not really in the folk genre. Well, he's not really in any genre. I think he's invented his own. I think he's a terrific songwriter. And if you are in London, you could actually see him live. He's a great performer, too. Anyway, this is his song. is a story of Grandfather Isaac. Grandfather Isaac and my Aunt Ray. She wasn't an aunt, not really. She was a friend of the family. But Friday nights and Seder nights, she was always there, sitting next to Isaac while Isaac sang the prayers. Grandfather Isaac, he loved his wife Sophie. Grandmother Sophie, she loved him too. He wasn't short of affection, but he was prone to depression. And when it descended, Sophie would say, why don't we think about inviting round Ray? And as soon as he saw her, the dark cloud would lift, and the three of them would laugh about that and about this. And if Sophie knew, she didn't say, and neither did Isaac or Ray. But under the table, their hands touched. It's all that they're able to do, and though it isn't that much, a power so hard to resist arcs across their fingertips. Wound up like a coiled spring are they, Grandfather Isaac and my Aunt Ray. Sophie and Rachel were primary school teachers to the immigrant children down Chapeltown way. And though they shared their secrets like best friends do, there was one subject that was always taboo. Things weren't open and free like today. Emotions were stifled and hidden away. Grandfather Isaac had a strict moral code, and though he might have been tempted to go down that road, he favored the status quo, and he stuck to the straight and narrow. But under the table, he strokes her knee. It's all that they're able to do, where no one can see, and that was as far as it went. But they both knew how much more it meant. Their hearts never came out to play. Grandfather Isaac and my Aunt Ray. Rachel grew older, she never married. No one she encountered could take Isaac's place. She kept a tiny picture of him in a locket of silver. And then many years later, on the day he died, she clutched on that locket and she cried, imagining everything for better or worse, and remembering the touch of his hand holding hers. Under the table, Isaac and Ray speak with their fingers what their mouths dare not say. But somewhere in a parallel land, Isaac and Rachel are publicly holding hands. And that's where we'll leave them today. Grandfather Isaac and my Aunt Ray. Grandfather Isaac, Sophie and Ray.
Oh, wow.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautifully done, Bob. And yeah, you'll have to tell us where to find Daniel Kaner. Yeah, thank you. Okay, on now to Lynn Phipps, and Lynn will be followed by Heather Preston, please.
Thank you. Thanks, Amanda. It's really lovely to be here after choir. This is my relaxation. I would like to sing a song. It's always special if someone suggests a song to you. So I'd like to thank Tom for suggesting this song to me. It's an Australian song. I know, Tom, you spent a lot of time there, and yeah, when you sent it me, I really loved it. So here we are. Our Andy's gone with cattle now. Our Andy's gone with cattle now. Our hearts are out of order. With Roud he's gone to battle now across the Queensland border. He's left us in dejection now. Our thoughts are with him roving. It's dull on this election now, since Andy went a droving. Oh, who shall wear the cheerful place in times when things are slackest? And who shall whistle around the place when fortune smile frowns her blackest? And who shall cheek the squatter now when he comes round us snarling? His tongue is growing hotter now since Andy crossed the Darling. Our gates are out of order now, in storms the riders rattle. Since Andy crossed the border now, and went away with cattle, poor Andy's looking thin and white, and uncle's cross with worry. And poor old Blue howls all night since Andy left Macquarie. Oh, may the showers in torrents fall and all the tanks run over, and may the grass grow green and tall in the pathways of the drover, and may good angels send the rain on desert patches sandy. And when the summer comes again, God grant will bring us Andy. Thank you. Thanks, Tom.
Oh, stunning. Stunning.
Well done, Tom, for suggesting that one to Lynn. Well done, Lynn, for learning it and singing it. Thank you. Okay, onwards now to Heather, and after Heather we have a late entrant in the form of Steve Suffett. So Heather and then Steve.
Hi, this is a much worked over. Basically, it's a take on The Lamenting Maid, and Tom Bliss rewrote it but he was informed by Mary Humphrey's version. So it's been, if you've followed that, it's been reworked several times. I find that it's really interesting because it's related to another song I love a lot, Oh No, Not I, which starts with a Newfoundland sailor went walking on the strand. But that's not the one we're going to do. We're going to do the Tom Bliss version, which is titled Rue. As I walked out one morning, all early in the day, I spied a fair young maid a-walking, gathering sweet May. I begged of her to bed with me, to marry if she do. There's an herb in my father's garden, and some do call it rue. When fishes fly and swallows die, young men will prove true. There's an herb in my father's garden, and some do call it rue. We walked and we talked together, till at length we did agree to lay upon a mossy bank, beneath a shady tree. The song thrush and the blackbird, in and out the bush they flew. There's an herb in my father's garden, and some do call it rue. When fishes fly and swallows die, young men will prove true. There's an herb in my father's garden, and some do call it rue. When 20 weeks are over, and her stays no longer tie, she writes to me a letter, but to my shame I reply, my family would have none of me if I should marry you. There's an herb in my father's garden, and some do call it rue. When fishes fly and swallows die, young men will prove true. There's an herb in my father's garden, and some do call it rue. So maybe she went a-begging with our baby on her hip, or maybe to the old wise woman, medic for to sip. If I could have my time again, there's much that I'd not do. There's an herb in my father's garden, and some do call it rue. When fishes fly and swallows die, young men will prove true. There's an herb in my father's garden, and some do call it rue. I should mention that swallows were thought to be immortal back quite some time ago when migration wasn't understood, and rue has use as an abortifacient.
Very nice. Thanks, Heather. Another great song. It's been a great evening so far. Everybody, please remember to put the name of your song in the chat after you've sung, just in case you haven't done that, so that we can have a complete list of what has been performed here. Steve Suffet is next, and then we will be starting our second round with Martin Neal.
Sorry for signing on late. We were very busy this afternoon. This song is from circa 1900. It's from a time when the criminal justice system in the United States was corrupt, racist, and brutal. Went down that river and I laid down to sleep. Oh, I went down that river and I laid down to sleep. I went down that river and I laid down to sleep. When I woke up, I had shackles on my feet. It has a chorus. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. Takes a worried man to sing a worried song. I'm worried now, but I won't be worried long. Now I asked that judge, I said, what's gonna be my time? I asked that judge, I said, what's gonna be my time? I asked that judge, I said, what's gonna be my time? 21 years, boy, on that Rocky Mountain line. Got 21 years to pay for my awful crime. 21 years to pay for my awful crime. 21 years to pay for my awful crime. 21 years on that Rocky Mountain line. 21 links of chain are dangling from my leg. 21 links of chain are dangling from my leg. 21 links of chain are dangling from my leg, and on each link are the initials of my name. Ready? It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. Oh, it takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. I'm worried now, but I won't be worried long. That sun's gonna shine through my back door someday. Sun's gonna shine through my back door someday. Sun's gonna shine through my back door someday. The wind from the river gonna carry my troubles away. Here we go. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. Oh, it takes a worried man to sing a worried song. Takes a worried man to sing a worried song. I'm worried now, but I won't be worried long. One last time, a little bit quieter, almost a fade out. Ready? It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. Takes a worried man to sing a worried song. Takes a worried man to sing a worried song. I'm worried now, hold it, but I won't be worried long. Yeah, I saw Tara harmonizing there. Worried Man Blues, traditional African American circa 1900.
Donegan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, you said you were busy, which people seem to be getting busy now. So thank you for still making time in your day for this. It's great to hear you.
Getting busy has a particular meaning in American idiom, so I'm not sure if that's what you meant or not.
Possibly not, come to think of it. Okay, moving on. Martin is next, followed by Paul Steele.
Right. This sounds like a musical song, and maybe one. On the other hand, it's only ever been collected from two singers in Sussex, one of whom was Pop Maynard, and some people think that he might have written it. I'm Coster Joe from down our street, me heart is almost broke. I lost me bleeding donor, me donkey cart and moke. I'll tell you how it all occurred from the time we left the road and travelled on until we reached those lovely fields in Kent. For she was a mothering laundry girl, was blue-eyed Mary Fuller, until she went and sloped from Kent with an Irish hot pole puller. We started from the Rose and Crown on mirth and pleasure bent. We caused a great sensation in every place we went. My Mary Ann was well made up with a red plaid shawl and scarf, and a hat and a lovely ostrich feather which had bought by me the flat. For she was a mothering laundry girl, was blue-eyed Mary Fuller, till she went and sloped from Kent with an Irish hot pole puller. We drove down to Crockham Hill and on to Hunton Bull, where Mary Ann expressed the wish to see 'em pick and pull. I loved her so I couldn't say no. We started for the fields, when suddenly the cart broke down and off come both the wheels. For she was a mothering laundry girl, was blue-eyed Mary Fuller, till she went and sloped from Kent with an Irish hot pole puller. My Mary screamed, some people came, I could have done without 'em, especially two young Irish chaps with winning ways about 'em. One said his name was Tim, the other Mike O'Brien, who I could see with half an eye my Mary had her eye on. For she was a mothering laundry girl, was blue-eyed Mary Fuller, till she went and sloped from Kent with an Irish hot pole puller. I flew into a jealous rage and picked a fight with Tim. Mike O'Brien joined in and threw me in the bin, and then two policemen came along and took me off to jail. It's a one bleeding wonder that I'm still alive to tell the tale. For she was a mothering laundry girl, was blue-eyed Mary Fuller, till she went and sloped from Kent with an Irish hot pole puller. When I come out from doing time, I found myself forsook, for Mary Ann and Mike O'Brien had slung the bleeding hook. So if ever you takes your donor out, just stay away from Kent, or you'll end up broke and lose your moke and wish you hadn't went. For she was a mothering laundry girl, was blue-eyed Mary Fuller, till she went and sloped from Kent with an Irish hot pole puller. Irish hot pole puller.
Good stuff, Martin. And yes, some fun rhymes in that song. Definitely. Okay. So, Paul Steele, you're our next singer, and then could we have Hazel Richings, please?
So, as everyone knows, I think that Jim Radford died last November, and I don't know how that affect things, but for a number of years before, on Remembrance Sunday, he at the cenotaph, long after the royal family had left and the politicians and the arms dealers had left the scene, the ceremony goes on for another 2.5 hours or so. It would end with Veterans for Peace, and Jim Radford would close the ceremony with this song.
16 years old when I went to the war to fight for a land fit for heroes. Gun in my hand and God on my side, chasing my days down to zero. And I marched and I fought, and I bled and I died, and I never did get any older. But I knew at the time that a year on the line was a long enough life for a soldier. Well, we all volunteered. We wrote down our names, adding 2 years to our ages. Eager for life and ahead of the game, and ready for history's pages. And we fought, and we brawled, and we hawed, till we stood 10,000 shoulder to shoulder. A thirst for the Hun, we were food for the gun. And that's what you are when you're soldiers. Well, I heard my friend cry as he fell to his knees, coughing blood as he screamed for his mother. And I fell by his side, and that's how we died, clinging like kids to each other. And as I lay in the mud, and the guts and the blood, I wept as his body grew colder. And I called for my mother, and she never came. Though it wasn't my fault, and I wasn't to blame. The day not half over, and 10,000 slain. Now there's nobody remembers your name. And that's how it is for a soldier.
Wow.
Wow. That's a Motorhead song. That is awesome.
Yeah, someone got it. Yeah, well done.
So what she said, really, yeah, a powerful song. Good. Okay, so Hazel Richings, our next singer, and then Paddy Hannon, please.
Wow, Paul, that was just unbelievable. I was lucky enough to know Jim. I knew him from Hull when he was up at the festivals up there, and what a gentleman. I don't know how I'm going to follow that one. I'm just trying to find something in my book just to remind me of some words. Something from Hull, actually, completely just to lift the mood, a bit different. Mr. Waterson wrote this one, or was it Lal? Might have been Lal. Some old salty, how he used to rock me. Jerry Roll and Jerry Lee, how he used to rock me. Salt fair North Sea, weird stare further than the eye can see. Got a head like a toy shop. Bow-legged stance off, must have been the rolling sea. Some old salty, how we used to rock me. Jelly roller, Jerry Lee, how we used to rock me. Hull fair waltzers, bopping to Brenda Lee. Riverboat, jazz cruise, jiving to the 219. Some old salty, how we used to rock me. Jelly rollin' Jerry Lee, how we used to rock me. Down there for dancing, come a Mr. Chester, please. Played Delia's gone, one more round. Some old salty's on his feet. Some old salty, how he used to rock me. Jelly rollin' Jerry Lee, how he used to rock me. Down the Abercrombie. Thank you.
Well, you never know what's coming next with this club. So, from one thing to another, brilliant, Hazel. Thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
so
I'd have cried otherwise.
Paddy is next, followed by Pelagie. You need to unmute yourself, Paddy, if you want us to hear you sing. No, still can't hear you. No, can't hear you.
Okay, got it now.
Got you now, yeah.
Sorry about that, chaps. This is a song my dad used to sing at Christmases and booze ups and stuff like that. And I've known it since I was 2 years old. So I eventually did a bit of research on it and found out what it was about. Apparently, it's about an actual event in about 1861, an incident on an army barracks. You'll know the song, it's called McCaffrey. Interestingly, this is the guy who gets shot. That was a spoiler alert. I'll read you the. I got this information from one of the Ministry of Defence sites about their establishment. In 1861, Private Patrick McCaffrey, aged 19, of the 32nd Regiment, was serving at Fulwood Barracks with the 11th Depot Battalion under the command of Colonel Hugh Crofton, who had commanded the 20th Regiment of Foot during the Crimean War and led his men into the battles of Alma, Sevastopol and Inkerman. The adjutant, Captain John Hannam, was a captain of the 9th East Suffolk Regiment of Foot. After being wounded during the Sikh Wars, he was posted as adjutant to the depot at Fulwood. There he appeared to have been something of a disagreeable, domineering martinet, to the extent that even the commanding officer seemed to have been under his influence, and McCaffrey, an indifferent soldier and a loner, was usually in trouble. It goes on for some while there. If you're interested, look up Fulwood Barracks, etc. This is the song. I was barely 18 years of age when into the army I did engage. I left my work with a good intent to join the 42nd Regiment. I had my course to undergo, to Fulwood Barracks I then did go. But out of trouble I ne'er could be, for my true captain, he had his eye on me. One evening evening at the guardhouse gate, 3 soldiers' children came out to play. From officers' headquarters, Captain Hammond came and told me to take those 3 young children's names. I took one name instead of 3. To the orderly room they quickly marched me. Neglect of duty was the charge against me. They passed a sentence of 10 days CB. With loaded rifle I did prepare to shoot my captain on the barrack square. It was my captain I meant to kill. I shot my colonel, oh, against my will. I'd done the deed, I'd shed his blood. At Liverpool Assizes my trial I stood. The judge, he said, McCaffrey, prepare yourself for yonder gallows tree. I had no father to take my part, nor yet no mother to break her heart. I had one friend, and a girl was she, who would lay down her life for McCaffrey. It was in old England the soldier died, it's in old England his body lies. And everyone who passes that way, say the Lord have mercy on McCaffrey. You can tell we had some bloody good parties.
Thanks, Paddy. Good to hear that. Okay, Pelagie, followed by Bob Bosson, please.
Okay, slight change of mood. Nobody listens to the history man when he says it's happened before. He'll tell of a weapon too terrible to use, and its use in each war to end war. He'll tell you the story of the wars fought for peace, and the sadness of the refugee. He'll tell you again what he told you before, and he'll tell you what is going to be. Come sit at the feet of the history man. He'll take you where you came from. He'll tell of the weapon too terrible to use, and he'll tell you of its use on the Somme. Nobody listens to the history man, for you all find his story too grim. The only man who listens is the man who sells war, and everybody listens to him. The story he tells is his side of the truth. Hear the rest from the history man. He'll tell of the weapon too terrible to use, and he'll tell you how it fell on Japan. Come take a walk where tomorrow has been, to the war to end wars of the past. Come and he'll show the first day of the peace is the day the new cannon are cast. Nobody listens to the history man when he tells you who'll be rich and who will die. He'll tell of the weapon too terrible to use, and he'll tell you that we'll use it by and by. Nobody listens to the history man. No one hears the story he can tell. He'll tell of a weapon too terrible to use, but never one too terrible to sell. The history man, Les Barker. Thank you.
Marvellous, thanks, Pelagie.
A more sober one from Les Barker than usual, but a good one. Okay, Bob, you're up next, and then let's hear from Paul Carter.
All right, I've played this one before, but I'm going to play for the first time in front of people other than on Zoom on the weekend, and it'll give at a rally. There's an election about to happen here in Canada, and I happen to live in one of the only 2 ridings in the country that are represented by Greens. So I'm excited about that. Instead, I would sing something. So this gives me a chance to practice it. And it's also appropriate given the UN report that just came out. It has a nice chorus, too. This guitar is made of cedar, from the body of a tree to the workshop of a luthier. Now it's on loan to me, and it's good company after dinner, and it fits my hands just fine. But someday another singer with a pair of hands like mine will coax out songs much prettier, still hiding in the strings, and sing stronger, braver words than I could ever sing. And folks are gonna love it, of this I'm sure, so I'm taking good care of it, because I borrowed it from her. Pass it along, pass it along. May it land in careful hands when we're gone. You carry it for a moment, time don't loan it to you for long. You don't own it, pass it along. I still love this country, though sometimes it's hard to recognize it. But I count myself lucky just to have been born inside it, and I'm grateful for the rights others struggled hard to win. And you bet I'm gonna fight when they come to take 'em back again. And everywhere are teachers, though some fell along the way, but the words they said still reach us, just like you're teaching me today. And it may not be out loud, but it's there in what you do. And I hope to make you proud, because I borrow it from you. Pass it along, pass it along. May it land in careful hands when we're gone. You carry it for a moment, time don't loan it to you for long. You don't own it, pass it along. Seems these days we're in a hurry to grab up all that's left to use, putting patents on discovery, making seeds that don't reproduce. And if our vision is so narrow, seeing only bought and sold, we'll end up like the pharaohs, buried with their gold. We've all pushed this thing along, we've all been guided by our fear. But the river sings a song you gotta be quieter to hear. It's in every child's face, new and hopeful as a stem. Be gentle with this place, because we borrow it from them. Pass it along, pass it along. May it land in careful hands when we're gone. You carry it for a moment, time won't loan it to you for long. You don't own it, pass it along. pass it along. May it land in careful hands when we're gone. You carry it for a moment, time won't loan it to you for long. You don't own it, pass it along.
Wow.
That's written by That's written by Scott Cook, a young man from Edmonton in Canada.
And thank you for bringing Scott's song to us, Bob. Again, I remember you performing it before, and it's fabulous. And yeah, at this time, after the IPCC report yesterday, good to hear. So now, Pal Carter, followed by David Kidman.
Okay, here's one I haven't done for a very long time. By Clyde's bonny banks, as I slowly did wander among the pit heaps, as the evening grew nigh, I spied a young woman all dressed in black mourning, weeping and wailing with many a sigh. I stepped up beside her and gently addressed her. Would it help you to talk about the cause of your pain? Weeping and wailing, at last she did answer, Johnny Murphy, kind sir, is my true lover's name. 21 years of age, full of youth and good looking, to work down the mines of High Blantyre he came. Our wedding was fixed, all the guests were invited, that calm summer's evening my Johnny was slain. The explosion was heard by the women and children. With pale, anxious faces, they ran to the mine. When the news was made known, all the hills rang with mourning. 207 Scottish miners were slain. Mothers and daughters and sweethearts and lovers, the Blantyre explosion you'll never forget. All you good people who hear my sad story, remember the miners who lie at their rest.
Beautiful.
Absolutely
Just
beautiful.
fantastic. Wonderful.
Superb. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think sing that for ages, pal. So thank you. Yeah, it's always great. Okay, David next, and after David, let's have Kathy Dent.
Wow. Difficult to follow that, but I will stick to my original plan. Another song with the connection to Keith Marsden. Actually, in this case, he didn't write it, but he set the words of Rudyard Kipling. He was, like Peter Bellamy, a staunch admirer of Rudyard Kipling. And this is one of the Kipling poems, which you don't hear very often, don't read very often, written in 1897. It's called The Vampire. A fool there was, and he made his prayer. even as you and I. To a rag and a bone and a hank of hair, we called her the woman who did not care, but the fool he called her his lady fair, even as you and I. Oh, the years we waste, and the tears we waste, and the sweat of the brow and hand, they belonged to a woman who never knew why, and never would understand. A fool there was, and his goods he spent, even as you and I. Honour and faith and a sure intent, but it wasn't in the least what the lady meant. But a fool must follow his natural bent, even as you and I. Oh, the years we waste, and the tears we waste, and the sweat of the brow and hand, they belonged to a woman who never knew why, and never would understand. So the fool was stripped to his foolish hide, even as you and I, which he might have seen when she cast him aside, but it isn't on record that the lady tried. So some of him lived, but the most of him died, even as you and I. Oh, the years we waste, and the tears we waste, and the sweat of the brow and hand, they belonged to a woman who never knew why, and never would understand. Oh, the toil we lost, and the spoil we lost, and the excellent things we planned, they belonged to a woman who never knew why, and never would understand.
Wow. Great song.
Thanks, David. Moving on now, Kathy Dent, followed by Mick Elfred.
I'm returning to the cotton theme again. See how the lint flies over the moorland. Shit. See how the lint flies over the moorland. See how the smoke in the valleys cling. See how the slate roof shines in the drizzle. This is the valley where cotton is king. See how the houses cling to the hillside. Hear how the streets of children sing. Wake to the scream of the factory hooter. This is the valley where cotton is king. See how the hunger eats at the faces, the ragged clothes to the flesh just cling. There's dust in the lungs and the bodies are twisted. This is the valley where cotton is king. Sleep is washed from the broken faces. Morning clocks on the cobbles ring. Off to the mill the weavers hurry. This is the valley where cotton is king. Work all day to the loom's hard rhythm. Struggle and toil till your tired bones ring. Crawl back home as the glass lights flicker. This is the valley where cotton is king. This is the land where children labor. Life and death mean the self-same thing, where many must work that the few might prosper. This is the valley where cotton is king. Now see the clouds flying over the moorland. See how the graves to the valley sides cling. Look at the mills, they're idle and empty. This is the valley where cotton was king. King Cotton.
Lovely, lovely.
Sorry for the false start.
What are you trying to do?
Find check.
Okay, Kathy, thank you. Good run of cotton songs from you this evening. Okay, Mick Alfred is next. After Mick, we have just another 2 performances. First, we'll have David Diamond, and then we'll have Maggie and Pete to close the evening. So, Mick, over to you.
Thank you. I wasn't expecting to get a second one. It's nice. As I did ramble among the leaves so fine, I am a young woman converse with Valentine. She says, my dear, please be civil, my company forsake, but to my good opinion I fear you are right. Oh no, my dear, I am no raid, cast out and made a thief, and I'm searching for concealment from the judge's men. Her rosy cheeks, her ruby lips, lost their glow so fine. She fell into his arms then all among the mountain thyme. He kissed her once, he kissed her twice, till she came to again. Modestly she asked him, pray tell to me your name. He says, my dear, if you look for me, perhaps you'll not me find. I'll be in my castle, inquire for Valentine. Day and night she followed him, his eyes so bright did shine. He led her over the mountain, his whole my brain a dime. as I did ramble among the leaves of vine, I overheard a young woman converse with Randine.
Nice.
There we go, with the line.
Nice.
Lovely stuff, Mick. Thanks for that. So our penultimate singer is David Diamond, and after David, we will have Maggie and Pete.
Just a second. I have to find the words. That's right. Yes. I was desperately looking for something I hadn't sung, but I think this is probably the first thing I sang in Sharp's more than a year ago now, I think, or something like that. Anyway, it's also my best song. So here we go. Come all you bold floor singers here in a throng, and I'll sing you a ditty that's turgid and long, with rhymes that don't rhyme and with meter that's just a little bit wrong. And it's not what I'd sing when I'm sober, but I'm ready to sing now I've had one or two, so you swine at the back needn't head for the loo. You can put up with me like I put up with you, and I'd like you to join in the chorus. Although my guitar I relentlessly bring, it's never in tune when you ask me to sing, so I'll go a cappella with this little thing. And it's not what I'd sing when I'm sober. There are 94 verses, I'll stop and explain, and I learnt them this morning with infinite pain. I'll just mumble the ones I've forgotten again, and I'd like you to join in the chorus. Such symbols as cuckoos and valleys so deep, my intent from the ears of the innocent keep. But you know what I mean, if you've not gone to sleep, and it's not what I'd sing when I'm sober. And after the sex, there's some blood and some gore, and poison and stabbings and bodies galore. But before all the squeamish ones run for the door, I'd like you to join in the chorus. I go round pretending I gathered this lay from an ancient agrarian covered in hay, on the floor of the pub where the old fella lay, 'cause it's not what I sing when I'm sober. But the truth is to tell, I stole the refrain, and the plot's so complex that it staggers the brain. And next week I'm planning to sing it again, and I'd like you to join in the chorus. I scribbled it down on the back of a sheet, which I tore from the roll as I sat on the seat at the back of the pub where the folk singers meet. And it's not what I'd sing when I'm sober. And I carry it round to the clubs where I go and I ask at the door, can I join in your show? And you were the suckers who didn't say no. And I'd like you to join in the chorus.
Great, so great, David.
A truer word was never spoken, so thanks, David. And before Maggie and Pete close for us, a little late, we've run on, my fault, but thank you to everyone for being here this evening, and what a brilliant evening of songs, absolutely amazing. And thanks also to David on the mute button and compiling the index. We will be here again next week. Until then, I'd like you to join in the chorus of Maggie and Pete's song.
Oh, you beat us to it.
Yeah, right. This is a song I learned in the traditional way from a 12-inch vinyl LP. Right,
And,
which Maggie brought over with her from the States in about 1977.
We're already over time, but it's the first time I said, that's a good song, you should learn that, and you listened to me. So, special place in my heart. And please join in the chorus.
Yes. One night, a poor wretch in a wayside saloon was lingering half drunken about. Heard the voice of the rum seller's wife as she said,
go put yonder drunken fool out.
The rum seller smiling, he made this reply in a voice that would brook no reproof. Let him stay where he is doing no harm. The fellow is shingling my roof. Are you shingling the rum seller's roof? Are you shingling the rum seller's roof? While your own house decays, are you spending your days shingling the rum seller's roof? The months passed by and he did not return. The rum seller noted with pain. So seeking him out with hospitable air, he asked his old friend to explain. You want me to visit again your saloon, and you ask why I linger aloof. With thanks for your kindness, this answer I'll give, because I've been shingling your roof. Are you shingling the rum seller's roof? Are you shingling the rum seller's roof? While your own house decays, are you spending your days shingling the rum seller's roof? All ye who are shingling the rum seller's roof and robbing yourselves and your own, remember the winter of life draweth nigh, and soon will the summer have flown. 'Twill be no defense in the day of God's wrath to offer high heaven the proof that your own house is desolate only because you shingled the rum seller's roof. Are you shingling the rum seller's roof? Are you shingling the rum seller's roof? While your own house decays, are you spending your days shingling the rum seller's roof? And woe to the man with the rum seller's heart, who covers himself at the cost of mankind and womankind, marred and despoiled, whose gain is that others are lost. In the day of God's wrath, when his own roof shall fall, and the weight of his sins bear the proof, those he has ruined will crush him and cry, we shingled the rum seller's roof. Are you shingling the rum seller's roof? Are you shingling the rum seller's roof?
on your own house decays? Are you spending your days shingling the rum cellar's roof?
Thank you for everyone joining in.
Yes. Another fine evening. Thank you all.
Yes.
Oh,
Fabulous
fun.
stuff. Yeah,
Great
great
evening.
in the chorus.
Yay.
I think that's it for this evening.